We're now being joined from Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, by Dr. Paul Alaje, the chief economist at SPM Professionals. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good
Fantastic.
morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's start with understanding what this policy is. What exactly does the 15% import duty on petrol and diesel entail? What exactly is this, and why has the government introduced this?
Well, the environment tax introduced by the government has many sides. It means something different to government, to local producers is different, to importers is different, to consumers of these products, talking about PMS, prime motor spirit, and diesel, it's also something different. Now, for all of us, it's important for us to know the sides of this policy to us. So I start with, what does it mean for government? Government introduction of tax means more revenue to the Nigerian government, because according to reports from The Punch and so many other media houses, even though Dangote refinery has the capacity to meet all local demand, but as of this month, October 2025, that refinery has not met the entire demand of Nigeria. This is just from what report says. So if that be the case, what does it mean if we introduce this tax? One, it could be that government wants to protect local refineries. It could also mean that it wants to tell others who are importing to stop importing. But if that happens and we are not able to meet local demands, it will lead to one thing, as the policy has been introduced: increase in the cost of PMS and diesel. The projection here is that the price may increase by about 99 or 97 naira to what importers are currently doing. What we mean is that, are these costs transferable to those who are buying these products? The answer is yes. So prices may go up. When prices go up, what happens to inflation? Inflation is expected to go higher than what we are having, even though we are currently in the moment of outlier calculating inflation using year on year. But you might feel the impact directly on month inflation. Until next year, you might not say what the true picture of inflation is as per year on year, but you can certainly determine what the month-on-month effect will be. To consumers and those that are buying PMS in their homes, the person that is doing micro, small business, and according to Central Bank of Nigeria reports, these people in micro, small, and mini businesses account for over 90%. In fact, Smith corroborate this, that over 90% of all businesses in Nigeria fall between mini, small, and micro. The truth is that they may need to pay more if they are buying imported. What we may see eventually is that people may choose. Another option we have is to choose. We might buy Dangote or products that are local, that are available within Nigeria, which is expected to be at least 90 naira, 100 naira cheaper. But that in itself may lead to queue. That in itself may now be a function of time. What does the time worth it to queue, to get, or to find without any queue, to go to where that is available? The question is, do we have this supply of locally manufactured ubiquitous in all areas in Nigeria today? If not, definitely the price will go up. Now, what economics measure is the elasticity of demand. If demand is still there, and I tell you, I've granted interview that says that if the price goes to 2,000, the truth is that people will still pay. So the elasticity of demand today is what we should check. Does it mean that it is fair? I'm not talking that it is fair that people should pay 2,000. To my mind, I've advocated for lower fuel prices, but because the challenge we have is the supply side. We understand, I think early this year or late last year, we were told that the refineries, 3 refineries in Nigeria, maybe 2 or so, are functional. And I said that functionality is still government driven. If those refineries must work, they must be absolutely given out to private sector, with government having minimum shares, because private sector wants to make profit. Private sector understand that those refineries must become functional, talking about Nigeria or state-owned refineries. When that happens, we can say we have fair competition. But for now, if import must happen, which I think will happen, because of the report that I have right here that states that Nigeria still imports significantly PMS and diesel into the country. So this will mean more money, more cost for household as well. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Alaje, good morning. It's always good to have you on the program. I hope that you are enjoying that beautiful city of Ibadan. All right, two questions from here. And it's about, first will be about clarifications, because you have a certain report in front of you, which says that in the month of October, Dangote and all the other local refineries couldn't meet our need. What then is the number of petroleum and diesel per liter that Nigerians need? What did we need in October that the local refineries couldn't meet, that now allowed Nigeria to go import? Because if you look at the cover page of This Day Today, Dangote Refineries was clear about the fact that he is able to meet local consumption. And it stated clearly that as at today, is producing 45 million liters of petrol daily and 25 million daily for diesel. And it says that that is more than enough for Nigerians. I'm sure that you will also be aware that a lot of people are saying that part of what removal of subsidy did in 2023 up till now is the reduction in the number of petrol that we are consuming locally, and that it's not anywhere close to between 36 and 39 million per liter, liters of petroleum per day. So if Dangote is dishing out 45 million liters per day of PMS and 25 for diesel, why are we still importing? Who is importing? What is the component of what the NNPC refineries, so-called, are dishing out? And then secondly, very quickly, will be that if consumers will bear the brunt of this 15% tariff, what therefore happens when the other 5% sales tax, which is at this moment in abeyance, when that comes on stream, will that not signify that you want to kill Nigerians? Because basically, anything that affects fuel affects inflation and, of course, affects Nigerians. Dr. Paul Alaje, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so let me say this up front. I am not spokesperson for the government. I am not the spokesperson for Dangote Refinery, and I'm not the spokesperson for the importer. I understand some individuals have taken those positions. I remain independent, and whatever I say, it is purely based on reports. I've deliberately refused to align with any of the theory. I understand some internal things may be going on, but I will remain non-political as it has to do with the issue of energy of our nation. Here is the point. The report published by The Punch and a few other media houses reveals that as we speak, Nigeria is still importing. 10 days into October. You can find it online. Because I'm using mobile to talk to you. I would have read it verbatim for you, but people can Google it. 10 days into October, Nigeria still imports. So what that means is if the agency of government is releasing a report that is made available to popular media houses that we are still importing, two things are likely to happen. It's either somebody is not telling complete truth, or what Dangote produced is still not sufficient for Nigeria. As I talk to you, nobody can say precisely the total volume of North Nigeria is consuming. And I think it's sad, and it's an indictment as a nation. We cannot precisely mention or tell an average of what it is true picture of what we are consuming. So, and I must also say that it's important we know that we do not just classify or blacklist Dangote into a refinery. You see, when we do that and Dangote stop production, you see that exchange rate that is 1,450, it will eventually go to 1,800. So Dangote has a role, not just Mr. Dangote as a person, but you see that refinery has so many other things that would have imported that is helping us to produce import substitution, is helping everybody. So it's important we put that to it. But my point here is that if we are importing at this time and we are unable to meet our demand, I think that policy should wait until we're able to meet our local output verifiably. Until the agency of government that measures whether we have met it or not, I'm not the agency of government. If the agency of government can say clearly that we are no longer importing or we have options, we do not necessarily need to import, then I think Mr. President can introduce the policy and I will support the policy. So what we need to be sure here is that have we truly met can we truly meet our local needs? I understand Dangote refineries have even more capacity, but as a producer myself, my installed capacity is different from my output per time. My output also oscillates. It might go up, it might come down. This is not economic theory. This is a practice of what is obtainable in manufacturing and production. So kudos to what Dangote is doing, but we need to be sure if we are able to meet that verifiably. If there is a way to investigate it, truth be told, I will publish it, I will mention it for free. And for people that speak with me in the media knows I do my things for free. There is no payment, no attachment to it. But from the report that I have, it reveals that we are importing. So that said, if you have met it, there's no point people importing. So if people have issues with Dangote refinery, I think the issue we should have is not to fight Dangote refinery, is for us to have alternative. I've told you the implication of single producer or multiple producer,
Doctor,
even though we have pockets of
quickly.
refineries that are not as significant as we have it today.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, I just want to come in very quickly because I read the letter that was sent to the president, and I'm trying to understand, is the Nigerian government preparing to raise fuel and diesel prices nationwide for millions of Nigerians in order to guarantee cost recovery for Dangote at a margin that we are not aware of? Or Dangote refinery rather. In Europe, the average is about $8 is the margin for cost recovery, but we don't know what that margin is here. So are we raising prices on millions of Nigerians and risking inflation so that Dangote has cost recovery?
First of all, when we do that, it might be, what you are saying might not be far from the truth. Because increasing the prices for recovery, for cost recovery, will have implication on the people. And this will have implication on cost of livelihood and on production. It will make it become relatively more expensive for people. The best way to do this is to have an alternative that can compete. If truly we want to go the liberal way and we want the market to be liberalized, it's important for those in authority to provide significant support to those that wants to compete in the market. 15% is a lot. It will make the price of commodity increase. And even though for now it will serve as protection, let me tell you the scenario we will likely have. Look at the price we are paying today for PMS, about 914 to 940, depending on the filling station. If I know as a producer that there is 15% on imports, what that tells me is that I can actually increase my price by 12, by 11, by 13%, provided it's not going to be up to, because the elasticity line has shifted, and it means that people can still pay or people have no option to pay. It will not make economic sense to me to leave my own at the old price when I know that there is a policy that says if you import, you will pay more in taxes. So what that means is that rational producer would increase their price. Now it now depends on interpretation. Without sounding political, I may now want to tell people, it's cost recovery for one manufacturer and so on and so forth. But not to box ourselves or sound political is to say that this could mean that the local manufacturers have a gap to make more money. The question is, how many of them do we have? And how many of them should we have, more so that it is not state-owned? That is why the advisory to authority today is the real problem we have here is not an individual. It's not even a corporation. The real problem we have here is supply side. We need to guarantee local supply because these have implication
Dr. Paul,
on our exchange rate and our FX.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your great analysis on these issues.